Arrived at the Metro offices in Sandton. They say mushrooming shacks and illegal structures are affecting the delivery of basic services. Last week, Alexandra residents embarked on violent service delivery protests. They say the Alexandra Urban Renewal Project, announced in 2001, ended up nowhere. The protest has also put the ANC and the DA on a warpath. Well, let's take you to Sandton now, where my colleague Makeketla Motlabe is standing by, and I think he's with a guest. Makeketla?
Afternoon, Nompu. Well, the picture that you see on screen, these are now the residents of Alexandra going back to the township. And this is simply because no one came through to take their memorandum. So it's back to square one for them. So because they wanted Mayor Herman Mashaba himself to come and receive the memorandum, but no one really came through. In fact, one of the officials was seen coming out of the office and he was pushed back because they don't want anyone else but Herman Mashaba himself. And this, of course, on the back of the statement by the mayor saying that he will only speak to them. He will only come onto the ground to speak to them on Monday, the 15th of April. And that's the only time he will make for them. But, of course, patience is running out, as I've mentioned in the earlier crossing. So we just want to really know now. What now? What's the way forward? Tembeni Manana will actually give us an update in terms of the plan from now. Tembeni, thanks so much for your time to join us again. The residents are going back. What is the plan from here?
The plan is that we're taking it back to the streets. We're going to make sure that we disturb capital that Mashaba is always serving. We want him to listen to us. We want him to lead us as a leader as a Johannesburg region. All we are asking is for him to redeem the dignity of Alexandra. The oxygen of Sandton is not the same as the oxygen of Alexandra. He does not take us serious. What are we to do if we are leaderless? We are bound to lead ourselves as society. He needs to take us serious. We are going to regroup as the community of Alexandra. We are going to re-strategize on how we get his attention to make sure that we get service delivery in Alexandra. We get bylaws implemented. We get illegal structures actually moved out of Alexandra so that the dignity and the image of Alexandra is restored and actually given dignity. Because right now, we are out of thoughts and ideas on what must we do as residents of Alexandra. We are literally 5 minutes away from center of capital and there is nothing they are doing from us. They built a bridge that does not actually deliver service delivery to us, but that bridge is delivering labor into Sandton from Alexandra to show that the dignity of a black man will always be questioned. The dignity and participation of a black man within the economic mainstream will always be limited to a certain way that a white person wants it to do. And we're not saying it in racial stance, but people who deal with the system of the country, they understand clearly when we speak about a white monopoly system and black society and black conditions. We are going to regroup. We are coming for Mashaba. We are not going to deter. Nothing will take us back. We are on for this. Every generation must serve his struggle. And this time around, we are coming for Mashaba, not because he's DA mayor, but we are coming for him because he's the mayor of Johannesburg. Thank you very much.
Have you noted down the reports that the Premier as well as the President are likely to make their way into Alex both on Tuesday as well as Thursday?
Yes, we have noted that. And one thing that we need to make clear to the community of Alexandra, or rather the listeners at home, is that our struggle is not subjective. We are very objective about this. Even the Premier must account to us. He must tell us what has he done for Gauteng. He must tell us why is the Gautrain station in Alexandra called Marlboro Station. He must tell us why there aren't any feeder buses from Marlboro Station into the community of Alexandra. We are the only black community with a station of the Gautrain, but it is named after Marlboro and not the community's name. So he also needs to account.
Thanks so much for your time. Tembeni Manana, one of the organizers of this particular march, Nompu. Back to square one, as I've mentioned, it looks like not only will Mashaba have a lot of questions to answer, but Premier David Makhura as well, as we hear that he will be in Alexandra tomorrow. So at this stage, we haven't really gotten that confirmation, but we'll definitely keep in touch with the office to get all the details in terms of what time will he be here. But of course, the SABC will be monitoring the developments of Alex shutdown throughout. Back to you in studio for now.
Okay, Makaketla, let's continue. I wanted to ask you, when people were leaving Sandton, was there a feeling of anger as displayed by the representative that you've just spoken to, or did people go away with calm?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you see frustrated faces, you see emotions written all over their characters, because they've been here since about 3 or 4 hours ago, and they expected somebody, more especially Mayor Herman Mashaba, as they say, to get the memorandum that contains a long list of concerns, and we already know those concerns, that they want the mushrooming of shacks in Alexandra to be stopped. They want illegal structures to stop in Alexandra. There is no space in Alexandra. I can actually tell you how we struggled to get to where they started this march this morning, Nompu. We had to drive with difficulty because within Alexandra itself, you cannot drive past one car coming into the opposite direction. You have to wait for the car to pass you in order for you to proceed with your road, with your journey. And that's exactly one of the experiences that they've been going through. Another thing that we actually noted within Alexandra, pile of rubbish, uncollected rubbish. And this looks like it's rubbish that hasn't been collected for too long. And I think this is one of the reasons they are saying that we need answers now. We need answers now. And they are going back now to Alex. Disappointed, of course. They are quite disappointed. I can tell you that, as the lady just mentioned, Tembeni Manana just mentioned that, well, Alex is likely to be on fire again. They are likely to go back to street, to burn those tires, to block the roads, to disrupt the happenings in Alexandra. More especially what we saw last week when those transport systems were disrupted, schooling disrupted throughout from Wednesday. So it remains to be seen if this is what's going to happen, and it remains to be seen if police will have a lot to do yet again.
Okay, Makaketla, thank you very much for that coverage. My colleague Makaketla Mutlabi reporting there in Sandton.